Jones from Marketing Showcase. Thank you so much for checking in to watch one of our recordings from January's online event. For this one, it was Adam Oldfield, Managing Director of Force 24, as he talked us through the Email Marketing Masterclass. It's a brilliant talk. Grab your pen, paper, take notes, get the most out of this one as you can, and I hope you enjoy it. And just before we go ahead and go live, I like to make sure everyone's using the chat effectively. So last time we were talking about lunchtime, what you got for lunch and breakfast. Why don't you put in there how many caffeinated drinks you had this morning? And when Adam comes on the screen, you'll see why I've asked that. So put in there how many coffees or teas you had to have to get through this morning, and we'll see why that is in a minute. Separate to that, you've got the Q&A function. So if you've got any questions about email marketing, please store those in the Q&A, and then we'll ask Adam at the end of his presentation. He does whiz through this, so hopefully we've got time for questions, but if not, I'll put you in touch with Adam afterwards. So I'm not going to waffle on any longer. I'd like to welcome Adam to the stage. Adam, come join me. Look, I know that there's something up here, but oh, there you go. I know that something's up here. You're not blessed with that much facial hair.
No, you got me. You got me. I was just playing with it. I'll just turn it off. I'll just have a very, very quick shave. So bear with me, guys. And
good. So we've got anywhere from 1 to 4 coffees, but I remember what you were saying is maybe there might be a few more being consumed as a result of your jumper.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I'm doing here is when I want people to do things, I'm going to start buying jumpers that when I put it on, they subliminally get that message. So yeah. What I have found is when I wear it and I'm on screen, I'm drinking a hell of a lot more coffee. So it's all about that subliminal impact. That's what we'll
right. So if we put something about be a better email marketer.
Yeah. Well, there you go. There, absolutely.
Cool. Look, I'm going to let you crack on. So I'm going to vanish off the screen. Enjoy your presentation.
Thank you very much, Ash. Okay. Good morning, guys. Right. Let me get this show on the road. So I need to share this first before I start the screen share, apparently. Start screen share, desktop 2. Right. Could anybody tell me, are you seeing the words, the email masterclass, maximizing efficiency, blah, 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 blah? Is that what you're seeing now? Chat, should probably get the chat box open. There we go. Bingo. Right. Okay. We're in good place. So, okay. My job today is to talk to you guys. How do I move on? There we go. Talk to you about email marketing. Now, this is such an engaging topic. I think what I often liken this to is a chef in a burger restaurant. So burgers are sort of classed as being the very basic bottom of the range of the sort of restaurant world, of the cuisine world. Anybody can make a burger, but can anybody make a good burger? No, they can't. So email's kind of like that in the marketing stack. And sometimes where we go with our marketing talks, and if anybody's seen me talk before, I often have to try to rush through it because there's so much content for me to get through. But it's one of those things that it's sort of dumbed down a little bit. And I want to dive into some of the things that really matter to us here at Force 24. We send a lot of email, as you can probably imagine, for us and for our clients. So my name's Adam, as you can see on the screen, and I'm the managing director. I'm actually now the CEO. But before that, I was actually marketing director. I've done lots of roles within the organization, but now I'm the big dog, which is good. So now, before we get into it, though, I've got a few of these little caveats. And if anybody's seen me speak before, I always have these little caveats that keep us sort of on the right track. You know, one of the first things is right now, it's okay. That's what I want to say. It's okay. It's all right. So the other morning, for the first time in my life, I'm not a big exercise guy. Really, I'm not. But I've been trying to do the Joe Wicks when he's doing his lockdown thing, and I've been doing it. And the other morning, I lay on the starting to do my stretches, and I was ready to start the Joe Wicks session. I got up and bailed before it even started. I thought, I can't be asked. I'm going for a shower. I can't be asked. And you know what? I beat myself up for that for a few moments. But it's okay. I think it's okay. And sometimes we have to just say, look, it's cool. Don't stress about it. That is kind of contrary to what I'm going to be saying in a moment. But the point is, right now, we're in the last week of January, which is it's divorce week, by the way. This week is the week where everybody says, I'm getting divorced. It's this week. You're in the middle of a bloody pandemic. We're all locked down in our houses, and it's the first month of Brexit. The crazy thing is Brexit just sort of went past and we didn't even notice because there's so much other crap going on. So look, the point that I want to make is we're all at home. We're all doing things differently, but it's okay if you get down on that exercise mat and don't quite nail it. It's okay. But do you know what? Long term, that's not my strategy. Long term, it's not okay. Over the course of 10 executions, it's okay, but it's not forever. And that's the thing that I want to make clear. Okay, so my objective today is not just to improve conversions on email, is not just to make you better at email, but is actually to save you time. That's one of the key things that I've sort of identified over time. So when I mentioned before, one of my jobs earlier on in Force 24 was marketing director. And one of the things that I did was I cleared the decks. I was like, get rid of all of that, get rid of all of it, because we've got to get quicker. We've got to be more agile. We've got to be much faster. We've got to react with the times. What we do on social media and what social media brings us is a platform to bash out what's in our brain within seconds. Bash, 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 bash. And it says, now don't worry about creative. The framework will do everything for you. Email's not that, but it is. So whilst I can't communicate at the same cadence that I do on social media 3-4 times a day, not me personally, but as an organization, that's kind of what we're outputting. I can't do that on email. But the same principle of lightweight, simple messaging still applies. Why would it not? So, okay, ground rules again. So I added that last bit about the it's okay, after I had a bit of a crap morning the other day. But the actual ground rules, the real life ground rules are coming. Oh, sorry. Before that, I have a little, see here it says at the bottom, quick question reminder. Well, I'm going to be asking you at some point in this talk, about some questions. I've got some questions for you where I need you to insert into the chat, okay? So I'm going to ask you 3 questions and you're going to type yes or no into the chat. So I want everybody engaged, because the more we're engaged, the more we commit to our typing either yes or no, the better the session becomes. You don't have to do it right now, but when I ask you, that's what we're going to do, okay? So I'll keep reminding you. That's reminder number 1. I've actually said it twice, but it's reminder number 1. So, ground rules of becoming an effective marketeer. This doesn't matter about email. This is just becoming an effective marketeer, period. It says, I've got to become energized and passionate, but I've got to have a dose of empathy. And empathy is what I know what gets people excited. Empathy means that I can relate to you. Obviously, I'm sure you all know that. But the point is, I've got to be able to relate to you, but I've got to be energetic and I've got to be a leader. Got to listen to sales teams and I've got to talk to customers. If I'm in my marketing ivory tower, as I often call it, and I've got this blockade around me where I'm just firing stuff out and I'm just looking at open rates and click rates, that's failing. That's not what we want. I want the sales team talking to you about how good that last email was and what conversations they've had off the back of it and how powerful the openings that you've created are. And that's what I want. And you do that by becoming a passionate and energetic leader. That's who you are. Nobody got into marketing to sit there building and sending emails. Nobody. Maybe some people did, but nobody, most people didn't. I know I didn't. So why would I make that bit my job? My job is convincing people of great stuff, and I need energy and passion to do that. We know marketing-led organizations outperform traditional non-marketing-led organizations by a considerable factor. Even if your organization doesn't yet recognize that it's marketing-led, if you start to lead that charge now, they will take note. Squint test. Squint test, now this is my own should be painted thing, which says that when I've produced anything from my marketing department, whether it's even me, whether it's a creative team, an agency, I sit back in my chair, I look at it, I squint, and if that message pops off the screen, it's good to go. If it's a banner ad, it could be anything. Sit back, squint. If it pops, great, send it. If it doesn't, pull it back, do it again. And so where I was saying it's okay. It's okay to be, all right, not this one. That's not my long-term strategy, but I'm not going to beat myself up for screw it up a couple of times. Long-term, I need it to be perfect. Long-term, I need it to be great. But right now, I do recognize that there's the human aspect. So the squint test is a powerful tool in your arsenal. Make sure you use it. And then the second thing is don't stand for second best. Do not stand. You must maintain as high a standard as possible. And I know that flies in the face of the it's okay. I get that. But we've got to do whatever we humanly possibly can to make it as effective as possible. Okay. So, and the final thing before we get into the actual meat of what I'm actually here to talk to you about is remember, and you have to keep telling yourselves this, I make the difference. I am the glue, I am the magic, and I am the energy. If I tell myself that, and I keep telling myself that, the organization wakes up to that fact. And actually, you are the magic. You make connections happen with thousands and thousands of people. I often say it's similar. Your job is similar to that of a comedian on stage. You are, I don't know who springs to mind. Eddie Izzard, that's random. Eddie Izzard sprang to mind. You are Eddie Izzard on stage telling jokes. But the difference is you're probably telling it to a larger audience than what he is. You know, our marketing team talked to an audience of 86 or 87,000 every week. You know, and a lot of marketeers talk to 10,000, 5,000, whatever it is, every single week. When Eddie Izzard is on stage and he's giving his jokes out, he's not just giving it nothing. He's giving everything he can. He's putting his emotions behind it. He's listening to how the audience are reacting. There's lots of things going on to produce that excellent output. I don't know whether Eddie Izzard is even that funny. Anyway, random example, but the point is it's very similar. You've got to listen to how the audience are reacting, and you've got more than just open and click rates to review that. I'll talk about that in a moment, I think. Final piece, harping on about this. Be more Gordon Ramsay. Don't stand for stuff you're not proud of. Right, that's the happy clapping high fivey bit out the way. We've done the squint test. Don't need to do that again. But this is actually a demonstration of it, to be honest with you. Probably a good place to start. What we do with the squint test is it forces us to rationalize. Okay, rationalizing is all about just simplify. You can't see. So if I was to sit back in my chair and I see that, the squint test would just about pass. Just about. You can kind of see the UK's #1 marketing automation platform, free marketing automation training and support for life, and there's a button. You don't need to say what the button says, but you know there's a button, and it's green, which tells me it's the way to go. Now, if I had a mixed up, jumbled column structure, it disrupts that message hierarchy, and I'll talk about that in a moment. So this enables me to say, yeah, okay, I'm all right with that. The other thing is I've got some very basic rules that help that squint test work, okay? And the very basic rules are, and this is in the construction of any email, one of the things that we've got to do is we've got to break our communications down into awareness style communications and activation style communications. This on the left is an awareness, this on the right is activation. So awareness and activation. Awareness basically is where I'm wanting to talk to you about something that you've never heard of. I want to create awareness of our product, our brand, or whatever it may be. Activation says you've shown some serious engagement with us, and now I want to activate you into a live conversation. And I'll do that by pushing a tactical object like a price list or something like that. So let's talk awareness. Now, the most important thing is one button on an email. And ideally 10 words to demonstrate what it is that you're wanting to achieve. 10 words maximum. So how to build perfect plain text nurture emails. So it says, yeah. 10 words, you've got to condense it into 10 words and one button, and that is it. And if you go more than that, then you've overdone it. So direct questions, exactly the same with an activation. The point is it's one button, ideal 10 words. You've got a very simple and very clear objective, nothing else on there. Really, really simple. Now, what Microsoft say is, and bearing in mind, Microsoft own probably about 60% of the world's email infrastructure right now, and they process spam filtering for 60% of the world, their opinion counts. They say that no more than 10 introductory words, no more than 3 paragraphs really is what you want to be pushing. Now, there may be images in there and there's all sorts of things to go in there, but that's the level. And the point is, I want you to know where you sit on the scale. I'm not saying you have to say everything in 10 words. You don't. I'm saying there's a scale there that's optimum, and where are you on it? And where are you striving towards? If you don't know, if you don't have any of that, you don't know what you're aiming for. But the rationalization of words is critical, and that's something you've got to do. Okay, personalization, right? This is a topic that I love. So personalization in email, people always think now, I'm going to say insert first name here. No, I hate that. That's not personalized. Well, it is personalization. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the following. The right person gets the right message at the right time. Now, let's just run through that. That's personalization. So let's imagine I'm going to invite one of you to the pub, and I'll come back to this pub analogy in a moment. I'm going to invite one of you to the pub, and I'm going to say to you, let's pretend we know each other. And I say, do you fancy going to the pub? So, right person, you know me, we like each other, great. Right message, do you want to go to the pub? Yeah, we both like the pub. Actually, no, it's a bad example right now, but when the pub's open and everything, let's go to the pub. Now, let's then take the timing aspect of that question. Right person, right message, Friday at 5:30 p.m. Right person, right message, right time, 3 ticks, bingo, we go to the pub. Right person, right message, wrong time, it's Monday morning, 8 a.m. I ask you that question. No chance we're going to the pub. You break any one of those 3 components, personalization goes away. If I take away the right person, it's obviously the wrong message. If I take away the right message, it's obviously the wrong message. And it doesn't matter. So those 3 components are critical to personalization. The fact that you put hi, first name, and does business XYZ need this doesn't matter. That's a nice thing, yeah, but is it the right message to the right person at the right time? And marketeers often work on this futility argument. And this futility argument says, I send enough. It's got to be the right message to somebody at the right time. It's got to be. So I want you to think about that and think about how you can achieve right person, right message, right time. And you know what? I'm not going to make any secrets to you. I'm here to sell marketing automation. That's what we do. And why is marketing automation a key factor in that? Well, right person is quite easy. It's very true. Thank you, Katie. What you're doing though is the right message. I'm working on the basis you've already asked that question. It's the right message to the right person. You already know about them. Sorry, Katie's just asking, it's worth asking your audience when they may prefer to hear from you. Absolutely, absolutely. But I'm assuming you've done that. So the point that I'm making is very good one, and I've forgotten what it was, and I've lost my train of thought, but it was a very good one. I think we figured it out that it's important that we get the right message to the right person. No, sorry, automation. Automation is the key because it watches, it understands, it tracks what people are doing, it understands how they engage, it segments people into relevant ways, and it can trigger at appropriate times. So asking the question is one way of doing it. The reality of it is I don't actually commit time to helping you as a marketeer, as a consumer. I don't care. I need you to just learn from what I'm doing. So asking me is not, it's one way, but it's to you just infer from actions is the most appropriate. I now want to talk about cadence versus spamming. So people often say, well, spamming and spamming isn't anything to do with volume. Spamming has got nothing to do with that. Spamming is sending the wrong message to the wrong person at the wrong time. So in any one of your marketing communications, an element of it is going to be spamming because of that futility argument we spoke about before. So if I have just bought a new car, don't know if that's a good example, a tent, I've just bought a tent. And the camping shop say, oh, by the way, we've got stoves, we've got hammocks, we've got sleeping bags, we've got bottles, we've got all sorts of these ones. And they emailed me a couple of times in that week, 3, 4, 5, 6 times in that week saying, oh, by the way, we just had these brought in. Oh, guess what? We've got a discount on these kettles. I'm not going to be upset because I've just bought a tent and it's very relevant to me. Those same messages to anybody else there is no good. So speed or this cadence is not the key. So cadence versus spamming, and what's that all about? Regularity of communications versus who I'm sending them to is the basic principle. And this is one of the tools that we rely on to understand that. So this is obviously within the Force 24 platform. It plots every communication going out the system at any time to any particular data segment and says what the relationship between the yellow and the green looks like. It doesn't mean much to you, but it means a lot to me. And it says that where I've got a green predominant feature, it means I'm doing a good job. Where I've got a yellow dominant feature, it means I'm doing a bit more spamming than I'd like. And those are the kind of things that you need. Now, MailChimp has this kind of stuff and other platforms on the market, but are you looking at them and do you know what you need to look at? But the key is I want you to understand the principles of cadence versus spamming. The other thing is Microsoft, again, have recommended to us that you should be emailing your audience 3 times a week. And if they haven't opened, you should be removing them. Now, I know everybody says, yeah, but in our industry, we don't. we sell photocopies. There's no reason for me to email you 3 times a week. Well, yeah, what's more important is this right message, right person, right time. And it's the futility of just blasting people that have just got in a contract. It's about finding the person at the right time and optimizing that send volume whilst they're in market. And that's the most important factor of email marketing. Do I advocate just blanket blasting of emails to see if anybody will bite? Not really. I mean, it does happen, but the person that receives it must be interested. It's that in-market target that we have to hone in on. So cadence versus spamming is 2 very different things. The next thing is the rule of 6, and this leads me on into my questions in a moment. The rule of 6 is not Boris's rule of 6, this is my rule of 6, which says that we have to say what it is that we're doing or we want you to do 6 times in order for me to have exposed my base. So just like I've got my coffee thing here, everybody wants a coffee now, right? They all want it because you're getting that constant exposure to that message. Now, what I want to do is I'm taking 6 steps to tell you about something. So let's take that pub analogy. I want to say to you, would you like to go to the pub? I introduce it. I then need to introduce a social proof element to that. And I say, look, your friends are coming to the pub. John's coming to the pub. Do you want to come to the pub? John's coming to the pub. Awesome. The next thing is gain. I need to introduce what you're going to gain from coming to the pub. I'll buy you a pint. We'll have a great laugh. Fear. I hate this bit, but it really is important. Fear is what will happen if you don't act on this. Well, if last time we went out, we had a great time and you missed out. Next thing is logic. We pull it all together. Let's go to the pub. I'll buy you a pint. John's coming. You don't want to miss out. And then urgency. Urgency is, come on, let's go to the pub. Get your coat. We're off now. And so what we've got to do is in every single instance, if I ask you to do something once, I'm working at a 1/6 of my efficiency. I have to remind you about it 6 times. In car servicing, MOT reminders, the rule of 6 is absolutely paramount. It stands out like a sore thumb. I need an MOT. I've got to do it. I didn't see that first 3 emails, then I was busy, then this, and then one came through perfect. So the rule of 6 is there, but I cannot be repetitive. I've got to be able to break that same message down and say it in different ways. That's what's really important here. So this rule of 6 is something that we developed, and there are 6 components to that human argument where loss and urgency and unfortunately fear are probably the most powerful ones within that sequence. Now, I don't want to incite fear, and a lot of marketers fall in this trap that they use email to be saying things like, oh, it's running out of stock. So your marketing communications become very negative. You have to balance the brand vision, the brand view, the brand persona with everything to give it that rounded view. Else you're just extremely happy and optimistic and don't get anywhere, or you're just really negative. So I want to demonstrate this point now with a social experiment. So hopefully we've all got our fingers at the ready. And what we're going to do is I'm going to ask you 3 questions. And from these 3 questions, what I'm going to ask you to do is type yes or no. No maybes, no buts, and no, just a yes and a no. So if you're about ready, lean forward, stretch off those fingers, find the YES or the NO buttons on your keypad, and let's do this. Let's ask 3 really simple questions. Do it when I ask you, and then Ash can categorize them for us. So, are we ready? Forget question 2 or 3. Who is working from home? Yes or no into the keypad. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. I'll accept why not? Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Carrying on. Anybody else working from home? Look, pretty much everybody is working from home right now. There's like 3 people that aren't. Well done. No, there you go. Keep going. Anybody else not filled in their information here? Just fire it in quickly. Lovely to see. Thank you very much. Okay. So number 2, the question number 2 that I'm going to ask you is, remember, yes or no. Who feels they're doing a better job than in the office? Who's doing a better job? Yes, 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 no, no, yes, no, 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 yes, no, no, yes, no. Obviously not everybody's in the office, but yes, 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 no, yes, 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 yes. Look at all those yeses flying in. Some no's. Some no's. That's interesting. But keep going. Fill it in. Yes, yes, no. So slightly less. Okay. Final question. Who misses office banter? Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, look at that. Yes, yeah. Got some miserable beggars. No's. Jeez Louise. Okay, keep going. Yes, 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 yes. Right. Now, that's a really, really interesting experiment. I'm going to ask Ash to collate that. So thank you very much for doing that. So here's what I did there. Number 1, I told you enough times exactly what I needed you to do. I made it very clear at the start of this webinar. Ash asked you all a question and asked you to type if you had a tea or a coffee. Some of you did, some of you didn't. Most of you didn't. Now, I posed that same question 6 times. You didn't realize I did it 6 times, but I did it 6 times. I also drove value. I tried to demonstrate value through that human argument. And I demonstrated loss and urgency and fear by saying, we've got to do it now. It's got to go. Yes, yes, really encouraging you into that position. And the net result was each one of you, or not each one of you, but a large percentage of you gave me that information that I was asking for that Ash didn't get when he asked you the question, just in a one-off, who drinks tea or who has coffee or whatever it was. It was ambiguous. I didn't know whether I was typing, I've had 3 coffees, 3 teas, whatever. I gave you a really, really clear, simple, concise, yes, no output. Now, I'm not going to actually dive into those numbers. I don't necessarily need to know. But what I do need to know is the fact that automation is one of those tools now that will take all of those outputs, map them next to that contact. You then build a picture of that contact. So the lady, I remember a moment ago, said, you know, listen to what your customers are saying. Yes, absolutely listen to what your customers are saying, but you need an effective way of storing that data and then now doing something differently to those customers. So those of you that are working from home that feel like they are doing a better job, but they miss office banter, where can my product help you? Where can I help you do more? For those of you, whatever it may be. Right, the final sections. I'm coming into we're running out of time. Creative commodification. And this is something that I'm really keen to, to demonstrate. And this is the commodification of emails. I don't want any emails going out of this business, out of your business, out of anybody's business that has not already been tried and tested, right? So yeah, we don't test, you know, we obviously have to test things in order to get them tested. But the point is, I don't reinvent the wheel. What I'm looking at here is 4 emails, all doing the same job that are only very marginally different. Okay, so that whole point of 10 words is to the CTA. So the CTA is the button. What you do beneath that in the supplementary information is up to you. But Microsoft is saying you don't need it. Just go with the CTA in 10 words. And I tend to agree, but we have to make sure that we've got some volume in the email so we're backing up what we're saying. Now, the important thing is, when you look at this email, it's all just word changes. It's all really simple, lightweight changes. And each one of these are what we call snippets. So you build these snippets, save them, never build them again. So you get to a point, I think, that you can be building in emails or should be building in emails within 5 minutes. Any email you build should be able to build and execute in 5 minutes. No, time's up in 5 minutes. So we've got to make sure we rationalize, aim for 10 words, say one thing and say it well. Do not do, I hear about marketers saying, well, we send a newsletter every month. What? So only once a month things happen. No, when it happens, talk about it. Talk about, say one thing and say it well. If it's news, get me to read one article. If you've got lots of articles, segment your base, understand who I should be sending each article to. These are the things that really, really matter. Single, clear calls to action. And if I'm going to save you time, it's going to be from email commodification, but also the fact that we move our emails into a formulated, pre-approved approach. So I gave you that, the human argument a moment ago about the 6 steps. I should be able to build a 6-week, 2-week, 3-week campaign just by outlining 6 items into a journey builder, setting it off and letting it do its thing for 6 weeks or however long. I then come back, review the stats, everybody's happy. When I'm a transactional marketer in the doing this, ready to get an email out every single day, every single week, it's really ineffective. Keep it focused, use automation, build out those journeys. Whatever. Create a uniform style, obviously. Aim for 5 minutes build time. I already said this. Nurture your contacts. Oh my goodness me, this is the key. Sorry, Ash, you're going to shoot me, but I know this is eating into question time. You've got all of these slides to download. This is obviously one of the key facets of automation. It's about building those journeys. It's all about saying, stop being in the moment transactional marketers. Build a plan, lay out the plan, execute that plan over time. The platform does that for you. All these platforms do it, but we're based in the UK and we give free training and support for life. Yeah, there's the pub analogy. Futility of linear communications I've already spoken to you about. Ensuring a smooth, because yeah, fine. I'm going how embarrassing. Ash, are you there?
Oh, I'm here. I'm in the background. I was letting you do your thing. Have you got a QR code at the end of this for the slides?
I believe so. This is about landing pages as well, Andrew. Oh my goodness me. Sorry, I'm having trouble. Yeah, I'm having trouble as well.
Siri's even telling you you've gone on for too long now.
I thought.
Hey, look, Adam, if you can find that there you go. Right, so there's been a few people in the chat who have asked for the slides as a result of your presentation, but also you can see there's a whole lot more in there. So you scan the QR code, get your phone out now, hover it over there, and you'll be able to download the slides. Right, Adam?
Correct. And this is all part of my ploy. It's all part of my, like I'm wearing the coffee jumper and the 6 questions. You know, I just skim past the value, and then you want to download it, and that's
Adam, I've known you long enough now to know that is not part of your ploy. It's just that you know, and it's a good thing. You present a great webinar, but you like talking, you like to chat, and there's nothing wrong with that. Can you? I tell you what. Yeah, leave that up for a few more minutes. I should be on the screen now. We've had some questions come in. I put in the chat. Well, to answer your question, just to back it up, there was like 12 people that replied to my questions. You had about 100. So it does back up that argument, and backing it up, and the rule of 6 does really work. So that's fine. I did also ask in there, what is visitors' #1 email marketing issue at the minute? And I thought if we had 5 minutes, I could just get your opinion on each one. Sure. So John T was asking about reactivating neglected customers when the data is old and cold. And somebody else also on the same topic was saying targeting those that don't open emails. So have you got any tips? I think marketers are probably looking at, they've got 1% click rates, 10% engagement rates, but then they want to focus on the other 80%. And what's your thoughts and opinions on how they can do that?
Well, you've hit it. So it's not to say that we neglect the unengaged. It's somebody told me when there's people waving fivers around in front of you, go and take the fivers. Don't worry about those that aren't engaging. There is that whole argument of in market, not in market. There are instances where I'm in market all the time. And if I'm in a business where I could be in market all the time and I've got a neglected data pot, it's important that I isolate that data pot from the main data segment where I'm massaging and they've got the fivers in the air. And the most important thing is that I develop specific re-engagement strategies. And the most important thing is the speed of the dispatch. So when I'm executing, what I don't want to do, it's just a numbers game. If I'm going to send an email to a base of unengaged people, the open rate is going to be low. It's going to be really low. And that's going to affect my credibility. I've got these great guys here that are sending emails to, I'm getting 40, 50, 60% open rates on these guys. Awesome. That's great. I don't want to damage that. So what I've got to do is I've got to send these guys slowly, 100 an hour, something like that, you know. And so it's important that you have a throttling component to your email send. And you're throttling those emails out very, very slowly, or you're batching it into achievable amounts. So what I don't want you to do is say, oh, we've got a time-sensitive offer to this 100,000 people that haven't opened an email in 10 years. We've got a time-sensitive, and we've got to get the email out within an hour. No, you've got to send that at like over the course of the month, 2 months. And what you do is you reactivate into that engaged pot everybody that opens. You're batching through it.
Okay, great. I can see a few people are just, obviously that we've gone over the time a little bit. I respect people's time here, but can I just launch the poll for people that are still here, which is if you enjoyed this presentation, there's a couple of things you can grab from Force 24. They're offering some guides. I haven't written that in the poll properly, but it's the 30-minute guide to marketing automation, isn't it, Adam? The name of that one?
I think so.
30-minute guide to marketing automation. So they've got 3 guides on their stand, all that are aimed about making you a better marketer. You can download those there. If you are looking for a marketing automation software or email marketing platform, you can also grab a demo from one of the guys at Force 24. Just fill out that poll before you leave. That would be great. Adam, if you've got 2 minutes as well, I wanted to know, Helen's asked about segmenting and personalizing emails, but with old existing data. What's your keys around segmentation?
So keys around segmentation are, data is, you've got your RFM data in CRM, which is usually out of date from the day you collect it. I personally like to get Ash, sorry, just to note, the QR code. Sorry, is this presentation on the stand as well? I tell you what, we'll just send it to everybody.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So if I'll just make sure I get you your data. So if the QR code, struggling with the QR code, I'll make sure that Adam's got your details so we can send the slides over.
So the point being that RFM data that you hold in CRM is largely out of date from the moment you collect it. I personally am a big advocate of the inferred intent data that we collect through web activity. So if I send you an email, it's imperative that I'm able to see, you click the email, what did you look at? And it's that data, that browsing, I don't even know I'm giving you that data, but I'm giving you all that insight as I browse around what's important to me about this product. And it's that data that's important. Obviously, in the absence of anything, you've only got the fact that this guy's a plumber or this guy's a builder, whatever it may be. You can only do it on what you've got. But the point is, you should quickly move into this attitudinal style segmentation based on what did they do when they went there. Well, it was a builder. It tells us builder. But when he went on the website, he spent most of his time looking at plastering products or plumbing products. So I'll connect into that data segment as well, and then we can include them in both. So what they do on the website is critical. And you might be saying, well, how do I do that? 424. That's how you do that.
Well, and that leads me nicely into our final question that I got asked, which was about actually going out there and researching email marketing systems.
Yeah.
What are your keys to buying a new email marketing platform? If you put yourself in the shoes of a customer, forget the fact that you sell one. What would you be going out there if you were researching the marketing place? What would be your keys?
Several things. Right. UK based. Critical training and support. They are critical because most marketeers at the moment are doing it with what they know 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Things are changing by the day. You know, this is key. So in terms of the buttons that they offer, you know what? Actually, web tracking is key, lead scoring is key, building landing pages and microsites is key, building emails is key, automation is key. Yeah, get all that, but you kind of get a bit feature blind when you're reviewing all these things. The bit for me that matters is, how does it feel when I'm talking to the organization? Are they responsive? Are they there to help me when I need the help? Are they based in the UK? Can I talk to them? Or is there only a sales team based in Ireland or whatever? The point is, I want access to people that can help me. And we give that free training and support, wherever it is, for life on that 2-minute SLA. You're stuck, we'll tell you the answer. That's the whole point. That's why Force 24 is growing at the rate that it is.
Great. And I'd add to that, we've reviewed some software recently, and the most important thing for my own sort of research when I was going out there and doing it was reviewing every process that I had in place in my business currently, and truly understanding what we were doing as a business and what was important when we then go out and take this next piece of software on. So I'd also pass that on. If my advice means anything, that was what I'd give. So look, Adam, thank you so much for your time in presenting that to us. That was our last webinar of this month's Marketing Showcase Online. So you rounded us off and closed the day, the couple of days brilliantly. Thank you very much for that. Thanks to all of our visitors who checked out this webinar or any of the previous ones today. They've all been recorded. We've got a YouTube channel where you can go and subscribe and see them all, but we will send them all out by email in the following days. So look forward to those as well. We run these once a month. So head on to our website, register for next month. We're on the 23rd of February, 23rd of March and 20th of April. And that is impressive that I can remember all those dates. So make sure you register for your free tickets for the coming months. And we've got some great talks coming up. So thanks, everyone. I'm going to leave it there. I hope you have a great rest of your week.
Bye-bye.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for watching another recording from Marketing Showcase Online. I hope you enjoyed it. Just to let you know, we've got all of the recordings uploaded to our brand new YouTube channel, so go over there and check it out if you want some more great content. We run these events once every month, free of charge, so head over to our website to grab tickets for next month's event. I look forward to seeing you there.